Hey guys, Happy New Year and welcome back to another video. Today's video is going to be something that I'm really excited to share with you guys. It is a Chondro keeper's dream room. A few guys that have been following and see the little shirt logo, you will know whose house I'm at and whose build we are looking at today. So I'm really excited for a new video. Let's introduce them. Chondros Unleashed.
Welcome.
Room tour. Here we go. Alright guys, we're here with Jason Allen from Chondros Unleashed. I'm sure many of you guys know who he is and have followed him on either socials, whether it be Instagram or Facebook at Chondros Unleashed. If not, I will leave all of his links and everything down below. But we're just going to discuss briefly the room, how he got to this point, and basically just a little bit of an insight of how he got to keeping some of the best snakes in Australia. So Jason, give us a yarn.
Yeah, first of all, thanks everyone, really appreciate it, and thanks John for having me on. So the room was probably about 3 years in the making. From when we bought the house to speaking to my mentors, James Lyon from Chondro Morphs and Andrew Owen from Supreme Green Tree Pythons, nutting them out, how does it work, what do I need, what works, what doesn't work, and 3 years of designing and turned the garage into a Chondro exclusive room. So basically all my girls live in a 3x2x2. As you can see, there's plenty of room. Very minimalistic at the moment. I do plan on adding a bit more as we go, but the room is still fairly new. But it makes it super easy. Cleaning, maintenance. I know there's no bacteria. I know there's no contaminants in the air. Everything is well looked after. And then the males, obviously, behind John there, which we'll get to in a minute, are
Definitely.
in a 2x2x2.
Yep.
So,
And now for people who don't know, all these enclosures are fully custom built?
yes, 100%. Yep. So all the cages are full 16mm PVC. And they've all got, it's all been CNC'd with air vents in the front and the back. And the cages are actually built off the wall 20mm. So
Nice.
the airflow does go all the way up to the back, and that's why the top isn't enclosed, so that all that hot air and air circulation for reptiles is very crucial.
Of course. Cool. So we'll discuss maybe a few. I see you've got some absolutely stunning perches in here. Do you want to discuss as to what these are? Because not everyone here in Oz manages to get it, nor fork out the amount you have to get them. But tell us a bit more about those.
Yeah, so I guess we shout out the reptile perch, David Brahms. He was kind enough to accommodate me and have them all shipped over. They're custom PVC perches that he twists and paints to look like a real perch. So I don't have anything, because I do spray, I do keep them quite humid. I don't have any mold or mildew or bacteria growing in a timber perch.
Definitely, and looks a little bit different than the timber perches or natural perches that I have, but we'll discuss. Do you want to just go over a few of the snakes? I suppose we can kind of spotlight each snake, just kind of go over something brief about them.
Yeah, so these top 4 here were the ones that I successfully bred this year. Unfortunately, Scandal's Clutch didn't make it, but this is a female produced by Kyle Brown. We can open it all up and get a better photo.
Yeah, let's have a gaze.
So that was produced by Kyle Brown there at Treetop Chondros. It's actually a sibling to yours, Pixel.
Yes.
So that's pretty exciting.
Very nice.
And yeah, so she's good. That female there is produced by Darren Ford. She is a 2018 baby, and she's just absolutely stunning.
She is really cool. And now you had 4 clutches this year?
Yes, I did. So this was the first one to give me a clutch. She's a bit food motivated, mate, so just watch yourself. And she was the very first chondro I actually bought from James Lyon. So she's the one that started it all, and you know, my wife was, you can buy one and that's it. You can just have one pet.
Yeah, we all know how that goes.
And I'll blame James, but he sent me down a rabbit hole.
Yeah.
Once I'd learnt what a designer chondro was, and I was like, I gotta have those.
Yep, for sure. Now this snake here, I know is a very special snake. Tell us a little bit about this girl.
Yeah, so this is Harlequin. We can get her out if you like.
Sure.
She was produced by a breeder called Troy McNabb. Really quiet guy. And I was lucky enough to I didn't purchase her off him. I actually got her from a friend, from Dylan. And I just had to breed her. Like, she's just...
Look at the colour in her.
She's just a one of a kind. The melanism and the high yellow, and she's normally a lot more gold. But from recently just laying a clutch, the hormonal colour change in a high yellow, they actually turn white. So that's why she's gone like a pastel look.
Yep. She still looks stunning, but definitely a little different to how I remember her.
Yeah. Yeah, she's definitely lighter.
And now those are the 4 clutches you got.
That's correct, yeah.
4 females that gave you eggs this year.
That's
and now on the bottom, you were saying that these are the recent or the upcoming snakes that are going to be giving you hopefully some amazing clutches in the future. That's
correct. So that one there you're looking at is from Andy Larder. And that's actually a Tony Crab line animal, I guess you could say. So Andy's stock stems from Tony Crab, which I'm pretty excited to see. Stuart Dempsey has got 3 siblings of that animal, and they're just phenomenal. So
very cool. I'm very lucky Jason is not too far from my place, so I get to enjoy this not only amazing room, but some even cooler snakes. Here we go, another sibling to one of mine that I have.
Yeah, that was produced by Liam Davini at the Chondro Collective.
She's getting big.
Yeah.
So cool. Let's see if we can get closer. I'll go the last 2.
And that one's, believe it or not, actually a red female. So that was produced by Adrian Hemmons.
Not all reds always turn out to be what we want them, but the genetics, I'm sure, on this one are crazy.
Yeah, something different to plug and play with what else I have.
Absolutely. And we'll go on get to the lucky last. I'll do some close-up shots for you guys that want to see some better overviews of these girls and guys that we'll do. And who's this one?
This is my girl's name, this one Bubbles.
Bubbles.
So she is a 3-year-old female, produced by Bo up at AB Reptiles, and up there, I think it's around Maryborough region she lives. So
nice.
Yeah, I think the lineage on that one is, the dam was we don't really know, but the sire was a Brian champion, I believe. So that she got from, I'm trying to remember his name. Can't think of it.
Nice robust looking snake, that's for sure. They all are. And I'll do some nice shots of the room, but for you guys that are keen, I mean, just look at this. It's a Chondro's dream to live here, as well as a Chondro keeper's dream to have this. So Jason's been very fortunate and worked very hard to produce a killer room that I know will rival some of the best, not only in Oz, but I'm sure around the world. Now, you've got your females, like we discussed, in the 3x2x2s.
Yep.
And you have your males sitting in the 2x2x2s over on the other side of the room.
That's correct, yeah.
So a really cool difference or differentiation of the males and the females. And tell us now, for people either who don't know or just a refresher, why you keep the males in the 2x2x2s.
Well, mainly because most of the male's a lot smaller than a female.
Yep.
So a lot of my males are around, between 300 and 600 grams. I do have one monster male that I got from Brian Champion. He's 13 years old. But I tend to find a male will roam in any size cage. So whether you give them a 2 foot or a 3 foot, they're gonna roam the same regardless.
Yep.
The other alternative is space, so I can fit more in a smaller area.
Nothing wrong with that.
And for 6 months of the year generally, these boys are actually in with the girls breeding.
Of course, so they kind of get the best of both worlds anyway.
Yeah, when they're not breeding, they're in a slightly smaller enclosure, but they're mainly just hunting and feeding and doing what a snake does best, and that's just sleep.
Yep.
And then the other 6 months, they're in with the girls.
For sure. Now we'll take a look at some of these boys, and then we'll get on to some of the neos, which look absolutely amazing, just as much as the parents do. So we'll start off with this one here.
So that's a special snake. That is a red neo produced by James Lyon from his Matrix line. So this boy is got big future. He's probably one of the plainer animals of the clutch, but the Matrix line is just high yellow animals.
Yeah, high yellow indeed. Look at the face. Love the face on this guy. The patterns as well. Just the markings.
James was kind enough to sell me one after 5 years of nagging him for a red.
Yeah, that's something I kind of want to discuss as well, as to what your go is with people trying to get good snakes in the hobby, particularly here in Australia. That green trees aren't necessarily a super popular. There's not a lot of breeders that produce them. What do you think about this?
Mate, my golden rule with chondros, doesn't matter whether you're breeding, keeping, or trying to acquire, is patience.
Yep.
You've got to be patient.
Yep.
You know, nothing happens quickly, even though you get to watch the process, whether it's a neo changing or animals copulating to females developing and then eggs hatching. You get to watch the whole process, but you just have to be patient.
Yep.
You know, a lot of us breeders now, we breed for our own sake. It's not a financial motive, and we want to hold stuff back because we want to see the change ourselves.
Exactly.
And that goes across the board with everyone. So be patient, reach out to guys. You know, sending them a message saying anything for sale, you're not going to get a response.
Which we've all got.
You know, reach out, just ask guys, you know, how do you keep?
Yeah.
You know, where's the lineage of that animal stem from?
Yep.
You know, what's your plans in the future? Who do you plan on breeding with what?
Yep.
Like, get to know the animals and know the keeper, and eventually build that relationship, and it'll go a long way.
Definitely some wise words, because I know a lot of people not only hassle me, but they hassle a lot of other breeders. Let's take a look. Now this is another chunky boy. Tell us about this guy.
Yeah, so that is a Brian Champion animal who's, you know, no longer in the game. I can get him out if
we'll get him out. I think that'd be great.
So he's a bit old. I think he's got a little bit of arthritis these days, but
he does the job. Look at him.
he's absolutely stunning. So yellows can be just as good as reds.
Yes, I'm a big advocate of yellows, although I do have my fair share of reds in the collection. I am a bit of a sucker for a good yellow, and this is just a great example of one. Yeah, crazy cool.
And he could potentially be the sire of Harlequin's clutch.
Correct. You have done a JL Exotics classic and put 2 males, but that's all right because we're going to be getting some babies hatching of this girl very soon. So the next video for you guys will be a updated clutch, not only of the Neos, of these guys, how the room, if we've had any new additions, but also the big awaited, I guess, 2026 clutch of, I dare say, the year here in Australia of that female's eggs.
Yeah, so James's boy is the other potential sire.
Yeah, so some 2 really nice males paired over that female. I'm sure we'll get some crazy looking Neos regardless. Now, who's this little fella?
So that's who I call Absinthe. He was just a really cool blend of different greens. That's from Darren Ford.
Yep.
And he is the sire of my first clutch with Saphira this year.
So this little fella did the job with
And he is a red neo.
that big girl. Stunning. And now we'll move over to this guy here. This is Riddler?
That's Riddler.
Yeah. You didn't forget him. Maybe we'll pull this little guy out.
Yep.
If he'll tolerate you.
Yeah, he should.
Look at that. Now tell us a little bit about him. Another Darren Ford production?
Another Darren Ford production, red neonate, and he's just awesome. He's, you know, you can really still see the triangles.
Yep, definitely can.
That's probably, as much as, you know, people go on about reds versus yellows, and we all go on about how we love reds more. You know, most people go, oh, reds are better. For me, it's not reds turn out better.
Yep.
I love it when you get a red neonate with a black outline as it starts to develop that turns blue, or you can get that black pixelation.
For sure.
And then the diamonds either stay yellow into adulthood, or they go like a really dark green.
Yep.
And then generally that black outline on the neonate pattern will turn blue and like bleed down the body.
Yep.
For me, that is just awesome.
Yep, for sure.
It's not so much I think reds are better, that's just the visual traits that I
Yeah,
love.
definitely. And you're definitely working with some powerhouse animals, so I'm very, very excited to see what you're going to produce in the future, that's for sure.
Yeah, it's a lot of fun.
I know a lot of people are excited, and like I said, I'm very, very lucky that I got the privilege of being fairly close by and come and have a look at all these awesome snakes. This little guy's in shed.
Yeah, that's Farlap. So another Darren Ford production. I was lucky enough to get a couple of him early in the day.
Yes, when he had a
He's
bit
in
more
shed.
abundant.
Yeah.
Yeah, look at, even in shed, the nice yellow underbelly, the patterns, those eyes are crazy on this one.
Yeah, they're really dark.
And has he produced
Yes,
any?
he is the sire of my second successful clutch with the KB female with Astrid.
Nice. So when I do the, when we'll show off the Neos, I'll basically put, I'll put these guys, the parents, a good photo of too, and then we'll show the Neos. So now I see you've got a fair few empty enclosures here. You have prepared for the future quite well, I see.
Yeah, 100%. It's when you're doing a build, I guess it's more about where you want to go, what you want to do.
Absolutely.
I'm a bit of a perfectionist. I guess that's my OCD.
Yeah.
And I just want everything to be clean, tidy, and uniform.
Yep.
And you always get different batch colors when you're dealing with a product.
Yes.
So if I was to wait another couple of years to when I'm ready to build the cages, the PVC could be a different color.
Yep.
And that would just irritate
And
me.
it's not on when you're spending this type of money.
I just had to bite the bullet.
And I didn't show you these guys. These are all some still yet to be set up enclosures, and they look absolutely incredible, along with the flooring and the chairs. You guys will, I'm sure, love that. Now, we'll get on to some of the Neos that you have produced. Now, 2025 was your first year of being successful in hatching Neos, is that correct?
Yeah, 100%.
Awesome.
Yep. So I tried for 2 years prior. I tried a Brian Champion female, Canary. She's still on my page. Unfortunately, she passed away after that. She was egg bound, so that was my introduction into breeding chondros. So none of this comes easy.
Yep, I know a fair few people have had their fair shares, definitely yourself, and I know a few others with egg bindings and just unusual passing, so it doesn't go astray.
And then last year I tried Saphira, but she resorbed her follicles. So this year was the year I had multiple females, which was an awesome learning curve. To watch the process time and time again, you learn so much. watch every podcast, you can read every book, but until you actually see it in motion and then you can document it and you know what's happening, that, you know, can't beat experience.
Yep, it's up in the air. Now, the first clutch we're going to take a look at will be your first clutch, and that is Saphira with absinthe. So that's a James Line female. Yep. From his Colonel Mustard Mystique pairing. Lovely. From in 2019. And the sire was a Darren Ford male that was Demos times Athena. Perfect, and I'll put some photos, or I've already put some photos for you guys to take a look at them. Now let's get to the more exciting part, is the neos of these stunning animals. Yeah. So where do you want to go? Do you want to show?
Start from number one, man.
Start from number one. Yes.
We'll start from number one. As everyone knows, my favourite chondros are red neos.
Yes, of course.
And for me to hatch this as my very first chondro, I could not be happier. Like, it's my dream. You know, big yellow diamonds, nice dark red neonate.
Unreal. Look at that. Now this is something very reminiscent of something that we'd see in the States, not necessarily here in Oz, or maybe not so here in Oz as of the last 20 or so years.
Yeah, James Line, Darren Ford, obviously it's their genetics, they've produced stuff like this. Yep. And I guess this is what it, you know, James always taught me as well, like, the right yellow is better than the wrong red.
100%.
So sometimes you're better off to buy a yellow, because Saphira is a yellow. Yep. But the genetics behind her is what I actually wanted. Of course. I knew that if I had red males, I plugged it into her, she's going to produce the quality that I'm actually striving for. Yep. And that's what we can see here. I mean, all these animals just speak for themselves in quality, like.
Yeah, just wow. This is my favorite one. The diamonds on these guys are unreal. And the size of them as well. Like, some people say you have big snakes. I say you have amazingly healthy snakes. But these neos are chunky, and I love it. You know, they're thriving and doing really well when they're, what, 4 months old and they're this size?
4 months old, yeah.
Yeah. I'm very conservative when it comes to feeding.
These guys get fed once every 7 days. Yeah. And they've even skipped meals when they're in shed.
Exactly.
They're not power fed, they're just...
And you can see they're just healthy. They're not, you look at this and you're not going, this is an overweight snake. This is just a healthy neo that's thriving. Look at that. So, and how many eggs did you get from this first clutch? How many eggs and how many hatched?
Yeah, so I guess all up, I got 22 eggs.
Yep.
9 of those were slugs. Yep. So that hit hard.
Yeah, a bit of a bummer.
There was 6 that were really nice, fertile, strong veins, but that clutch was a really rough clutch. A lot of them had windows, the eggs didn't look great, they were small. Then there was another 4 that had weak veins, and then there was a couple that were just infertile. Yep. So I ended up, out of those eggs, I got 5 to hatch. Nice. Obviously 5 holdbacks. Of course. And especially when you got empty cages, right?
Yep, 100%.
But yeah.
And so the red to yellow ratio, what was that?
I got 3 reds and 2 yellows.
Nice.
The 6th egg that didn't make it was another yellow, so it was that perfect 50-50 split. Yep. And something I did also want to discuss as well are your tubs. Super simple, super basic, but really efficient. Yeah, again, we go back to the reptile perch, David Brahms. Yep. These perches, again, I had shipped over from him. They're just a 3D printed perch, super simple, easy to clean, gives the snake plenty of options. Yep. I go with a slightly larger tub, a 10-litre tub. Yep. I know a lot of people run a 7.
Or like me, a 3.
Or a 3.
Don't, yeah.
But what I do like about these tubs is I do get a really good temperature gradient from front to back. Yep. I run a bottom heat cable, so whenever that cable turns on, the tubs don't just get blasted with heat. As that heat rises, it's hitting the wet paper towel, yep. And then that heat is rising with humidity. So yep. The harder it works, the more humid the tub is created.
Of course.
So they're not drying out, yep. with heat. but I generally get a 2 to 3 degree variance from front to back when ambient is at a lower temperature.
Yep. And you've got a decent amount of air holes on this as well. I remember because I drilled all of them on these ones, but
yeah, big help.
It was another thing that I wasn't necessarily. I don't have my keeping wise. I've got quite a minimal amount, but it's just due to that airflow that you were saying before about constant fresh air going in, and
that's correct,
and making sure everything is not stagnant and fouling up, basically.
No, you kind of want your tubs to dry out.
Yep.
You want that air circulation to be constant, so there's fresh air going in, and then all that old humid air is getting sucked out, and then there's fresh humid air getting pushed in. You don't want your snakes breathing stale, humid air. It's just full of bacteria.
I feel a lot of the new keepers these days just think, understandably, it can be a bit confusing, but being green trees that they need to be humid, they think wet, and they think consistently wet, no dry time, and you always end up seeing people either with blisters or respiratory issues, and this is just a great way of showing that you need to let them dry out.
100%. Yep.
All right, we'll take a look at some of the other Neos.
I guess the third red of the clutch.
Oh, look at this one. Really reduced pattern on this one.
Yeah.
Wow. Do you have a preference of any of these guys, or is it being that the first, it's
my first clutch.
They're all of them equal.
Yeah. That one's pretty special in the terms of how reduced it is compared to the rest of the clutch. Like it's pretty standout.
Yeah.
The first one, the big diamonds, I really liked that.
Definitely. Yeah, just hard to beat. I guess you're very spoiled as well as I'm very spoilt. I know a lot of people new to the hobby or even have been in the hobby for a while would completely freak out having animals like this in their collection. But I guess as of late, you've had great success, and even myself have had some nice red Neos hatch that I know a lot of people are after and a lot of people are desired. So it's crazy to see and great to see someone like yourself, which is still not new in the hobby as such, but new to breeding, do so well with such crazy animals right off the bat.
Yeah, well, I guess you know, I bought most of my collection from neonates.
Yep.
Everything's taking time to grow.
Yep.
And that's where, you know, you come back to patience.
100%.
You can't expect to jump into Chondros and buy a 3-year-old or 4-year-old or 5-year-old female and expect to breed that year. It's
exactly.
just not going to happen.
Not viable, as well as not recommended. Before we go on to the next Neos, I just kind of want to potentially discuss your protocols with testing, as well as now you've got such a crazy collection. You're not just going to be buying new animals and whacking it in this room. What do you do to mitigate issues like that?
No, so my quarantine's been really strict from day one. Everything, I got a separate room upstairs. Everything goes upstairs. If it's a neonate, it goes up there until it's able to be tested. From that point, it gets a minimum of 2 tests. If I've had it for 6-12 months. As far as a couple of adults, they get tested the day of or the day after when I receive them.
Yep.
Just because I don't want to have that complications with the breeder.
Of course.
Or the person I'm buying it off. I want to be super transparent that of getting the animal tested, and I make sure that they're aware that I will be testing it as soon as I get it. Yep. Or I'll even pay for them to test.
Yep. And what tests are you testing for when you do these types of tests?
I test for sunshine virus, nidovirus, and Borna virus.
Perfect.
So the 3 main collection killers, basically.
Yep. All right. Thanks for saying that. Well, let's talk about the next clutch that we're going to look at. That was all the Neos from...
Yeah, there's one more yellow.
We'll have a look at that last one before we discuss the next. Look at the pattern on this one. Although the reds are cool, it's hard to pass up a yellow that looks like this.
Yeah, that reminds me of Mum the most.
Yes. So the next clutch that we're going to be looking at was the second successful clutch that you've had here. Yep. So just tell us a little bit about those parents again, who they were, and I'll put some photos up.
Yep, so again, that was from Astrid times Farlap. Astrid is a Kyle Brown produced female from Treetop Chondros, And far lap was from Darren Ford. Again, he is a Demos times, I think it's Persephone. Got to pronounce Darren's names right. Female. So that was from a red to red pairing that Darren produced, and I was kind of hoping that my luck might be on the card and get a red dominant male, but unfortunately not.
Not this time. Now, how many eggs did you get from this pairing, and what's the ratio and what hatched?
Yeah, so I got 11 eggs in total.
Yep.
One was infertile, and I got 10 perfect looking eggs.
Nice.
3 of them died within the first week.
Yeah. As they do.
Part of chondros.
As they
or
do.
Part of any sort of snake breeding.
Yep.
And so out of those, I got 7 babies.
Nice.
So
All right.
4 reds, 3 yellows.
Awesome. Let's take a look at these ones.
Again, the first one to hatch was a red.
Of course. I mean, unreal. The patterns on these ones are second to none. I really like that busy pattern. Very, very pointed. I almost told you that they looked very Manokwari locality-wise when they first hatched.
Yeah. Different from the first.
Definitely different.
So. This is different yellow. It's got really nice, big, bold markings.
It does.
Which is really cool to see. Anyone that comes over that don't know snakes just fall in love with yellow neonates.
I'm still in love with them. And this one might have a special place in my collection at some point in time.
Potentially, mate.
Potentially.
Let's see what happens.
Let's see what happens.
So this is the last one that's given me grief feeding. So these hatched a little while ago now, and there's a reason why there's not a lot of these things around.
Yep. I've definitely had my fair share and experience with problematic neos, not only feeding, but just general breeding problems.
Yeah, shout out to Daniel Boswell from Chondro Bos. He actually took a video call with me when he was feeding some of his Kofias that he hatched out this year.
Nice.
And actually showed me how he did his mouse drumsticks for assist feeding.
Finally you say that. I did mine. I've been assist feeding gizzard for the last 2 months on 3 neos. That's still problematic for me. And the first time I did it with a mouse leg, just like Daniel did it, they ate, well, I had to assist them in terms of putting it in their mouth, but they swallowed perfectly normal.
Yeah.
So that's a considerable step in the right direction. And the next time I fed, 2 out of those 3 actually ate by themselves. So it was a great little tip.
You're just teaching them to swallow.
Yep.
They're such a defensive little animal that they'll either be super shy and duck their head and run away from you,
Yep.
or they're just too scared of you and they're just striking all over the place and throwing the food, and then we're feeding them something that's not natural.
Yep, definitely.
So there's number 9. Again, another really cool little yellow.
Definitely really cool.
Bloodshot red eyes, that
Yeah, I
one.
was just about to say, look at those eyes. Really cool.
Another little yellow. That was the runt of the litter. Runt of the clutch, I should say.
Not so much a runt now. I think it's looking quite good.
Nah, they're all eating really well except for the one, so
Yeah,
it's a good feeling.
definitely is. Look at that. Another crazy neo with some real busy pattern on this one by the looks of it.
Yeah,
A little bit more speckled in.
they're going to be cool to watch change.
Definitely.
These are a full mix and I have no idea what they're going to do.
Yep. And this is the lucky last one.
Yeah, it's a lucky last one.
Oh, ending on a bang. Look at that. Not a bad looking animal at all. And what's your plan with these guys? Are you going to keep them in here For how long do you expect to keep them in this rack before they get upgraded to either a larger tub or a bigger enclosure?
Yeah, so they'll go from these tubs into the 27s.
Nice.
They're usually around 12 to 18 months old, depending on the animal.
Yep.
Some animals grow quicker than others. Generally, I find the females are just bigger.
Yep.
So they will move across sooner. But yeah, so they go from the 10 litre tubs into the 27s. That point, I kind of know what sex they are.
Yep.
And then from there, they'll go into their forever size cage.
Nice. Well, I think we will wrap it up for now. 34 minutes, something good you can watch while you eat your dinner and have a drink. But what we'll do is, I know we've got some very special things happening, not only in this room, but in Jason's collection. This will be part 1, the first video of the new year, and we will come back hopefully in a few months' time, probably around maybe June or July, and do a second update, not only on the Neos, but we'll have some crazy new Neos hatching from that female as well, which I know a lot of people are after. So I have to thank you very much, Jason, for allowing us into your home and into your amazing chondro room, and we look forward to watching and following along.
Thanks for coming.
No worries.